Hi, thank you for joining us. This is the Miro Consulting webinar on Oracle Java. We're going to begin in just about 1 minute. We want to give everyone a chance to log in, get their earphones in, get a nice cup of coffee, etc. So bear with us as we let the people with the slower login connections and the older Zoom clients make their way in. The people who have to download the latest version, all that stuff. So we'll be starting just like another 30 seconds. All right, let's get started. Again, this is the Miro Consulting webinar on Oracle Java, updated for today, April 27th, 2023, with all the latest information. It comes fast and furious. Everything's changing. So we've got the latest info for you here. My name is Sean Donahue. I am the VP of Marketing here at Miro Consulting. And this presentation was put together by Tim Hegedus, our Director of Technical Services. And again, updated for April 27th, 2023. Let me tell you real quick a little bit about Miro. All right, so we're the leading global provider of software asset management, subscription management services for Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon Web Services, and Salesforce. We specialize in license management, audit advisory, negotiation tactics, support management, and cloud services. And we help you stay in compliance. If you ever have situations with audits, you want to negotiate a better deal with your vendor, anything like that, we are your confidential source of information. And one other thing I want to make sure everyone's aware of, there's no risk in going with Miro. Unlike other competitors, we have a performance guarantee that says we will find cost savings for you, then it will be more than our fees. So there's no risk. No other software licensing organization does it. And I promise you that will be the last time I even get close to reading my slides. Now, again, thank you for coming to this webinar. And I want to tell you, this is going to be the best Java webinar you've ever entered. I have been to the competitors' webinars for Java, and they don't have nearly as much information. They're not nearly as comprehensive. And one more thing I want to tell you just right off the bat, I'm going to send you a document. I'm going to send you a Java licensing guide. It's going to have every piece of data that you see on the screen here. So don't knock yourself out trying to write things down. Don't knock yourself out trying to take screenshots. You can if you really want to. We're also recording this. We're going to have it up on YouTube. So by no means frantically try to jot things down. Again, I'm going to send you a really nice guide. It's going to have all the information you're going to see here. All right. Let's talk about what's going on. What's this going to be about? So there's been a bunch of changes with Java. You've probably heard. That's why you're here. They've made numerous changes since Oracle announced it was going to be a paid subscription as of 2019. We're going to cover what those fees are, what the metrics are. We're going to talk about third-party options for your Java. We're going to talk about the different licensing agreements they fall under. We're going to talk about Java sales inquiries, which might turn into Java audits. We're going to talk about how Java will upgrade itself out of compliance if you let it. And we're going to tell you about how Java will call home and tell you that it is at your organization's systems, and it will call home to Oracle. So, and we're also going to help talk about, what should you do? What's the right move for your organization, depending on specifics to you. All right. So the first thing I want us to do here, real quick, I want to launch a poll. So what is your organization's current plan for Java? I don't like to leave my polls up. I like to leave them up for about 20 seconds at most. So please, by all means, if you're going to answer, what is your organization's plan for Java? And I see the statistics coming in here. The numbers coming in now. I'm going to give it another minute or so to give you guys a chance to get your answers in. And it looks like we are getting a lot of people who we're getting it split. We're getting pretty split. We're looking for people who are looking to remove Java, to replace Java, and some people are looking to purchase it. If you're going to give me an answer, give it to me now. Thank you guys so much. We're going to keep going. All right. Okay, let's talk about the new, what's now, what's changed, what's different. So as of January 2023, Oracle announced it's going to have a new way to measure Java. It is going to be called the per employee license metric, is how you will see it defined. And it requires all of your employees to be licensed for Java. And I do mean all of them, even if they don't use it, even if they don't use a computer at all. If you've got an employee who rakes leaves outside, they need a Java license. And how does Oracle define it? Well, they define it as your part-time, your full-time, your temporary employees, your contractors, your agents, your outsourcers, your consultants, your dog. Okay, maybe not your dog, but everybody else needs a license. And I do mean everybody. So that is what the policy as per Oracle. We may have a little way that is different than that for you. We'll see. But that is the current per employee pricing model, and they need it a subscription even if your employee doesn't use it. This is called the Java SE Universal Subscription. And this is the per month per employee pricing. You can see it's a tiered pricing. The more employees you have, the less you pay per employee. And the price breaks start at about 1,000 employees, as you can see. If you were wondering how Java used to be licensed or subscribed, it was a per processor or named user plus, and before that, it was the Java SE perpetual license. So that is what the new metric is. These are the old metrics. I want you to make sure you understand, if you purchase Java under the old metrics, you are totally valid. You do not need to purchase under the per employee metrics if you have old Java licenses. So if you did, good for your company. You guys are way ahead. If not, we have heard, we have been involved with cases where Oracle is allowing some organizations or is considering allowing some organizations to actually purchase using the old metrics. If this is something that appeals to you and you think that this could work out a lot better for your organization, please contact us afterward. We can talk about if you're in the situation that this is going to be a possibility, or we'll let you know if it's not. So again, we've heard, we've been talking, it's under consideration. We've seen it happen for certain clients in certain situations. So let us know and we'll see if we can, we'll let you know if you qualify. All right. So like I just said, if you've already purchased it, you don't need a new one. This is directly from Oracle. I leave the quote there for you. The other thing I just want to mention quickly, if you got your license as part of a different product, so let's say you purchased a product from Oracle and that was like a major piece of software and it came with Java, you do not need a Java subscription. Technically, that one product, for that one use case, you were given a Java license with the product you purchased if it came with Java. And that's different for individual products. But if you purchased a product that came with Java, it depends on Java, it's an Oracle program, you have a license for the use of that one product, but only that one product. You cannot say, oh, I got a Java license with this, so now my employees are covered. They are not, just that product. So let's talk about how Oracle's going to know you have Java. Well, it's because Java's going to call home. It is going to say, hi, this is Java 17. I am at this IP address. And here's some other information that I might have figured out, that I can tell you. When you install Java, it will call home by default. Now, it's not doing anything nefarious here. It's just checking to see if there are updates. Should it update itself? Is there a security fix? Oracle's not trying to spy on you. Java's not trying to spy on you either. But when Java calls home and says, are there any security updates that I need to know about? Well, by default, Oracle gets the IP addresses of those things because the servers need to know where to send the updates to, of course. So that information gets collected. So if you do not turn that feature off, it will call home and Oracle will know you have it installed. Now, also, big takeaway here. If you're going to have any of the other takeaways, I want you to take this one. Java will auto update itself out of compliance. So you may install a free version. You may tell it not to call home. Yeah, you may think that, everything's covered, but it will auto update itself. It might prompt the user to update it and override some setting. It might update itself as part of something else and somebody's just clicking next, and that's one of the next buttons. So if you are trying to do a system where you're going to have Java, but you're going to have only the free to use ones, this is the big important takeaways. You need to take care of that. If you don't know how, we can help you with that. Talk to us after. All right, so let's talk about which Java versions you need a license for and which you do not. So essentially, let's talk about the older versions of Java first. So there's Java 5, 6, and 7. They are in sustaining support only. They're pretty much, I don't want to say they're deprecated because I don't think that's the correct term, but Java 5, 6, and 7 are quite old at this point. And I'm going to cover in a second what sustaining support means versus the other types of support. But it's important to note just they're in sustaining. Java 8, which we're all familiar with, is an extended support, and it will be with fees waived until 2030. And then there's also, just keep in mind, Java Web Start. 8 is the sunset release. Again, that goes to 2030. So now this is when I told you I want to make this the best Java webinar you've ever had. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to have a lot of data for you that is going to be very specific on what versions are what and why. And if you go to a Java webinar and they don't have this amount of detail, they don't know what they're talking about. So this is the 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the way that they work is that it's the update number, which makes it paid or free. So you'll see a lot of people out there saying, oh, the old versions are free. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. The old versions are only free if updated to a certain point. You can see here, they're very technical numbers. I'm not going to run through them. I'm going to send you a guide. It's going to have this exact piece of data on it. So you can go reference. When you go look up your Javas, you can see which ones you have. We're again about to talk about support in a minute, just so you understand when we look at the next slide. Long-term support means it's going to be 5 years, they're going to keep it around. And it's going to go into a 3-year extended support. Non-long-term support means it's only going to be around for 6 months. There's no extended support. It's a temporary version. So again, if you don't get this kind of detail, then your Java consultant doesn't know what they're talking about. So here's what we're talking about now. So these are the only ones still in support of any kind. And you can see that 7 is in indefinite sustained support. And we're going to get to exactly what that is in a minute. But I want you to look at 2 rows. So the ones in red, if you look at, are the long-term support ones, which means they're going to be around a while. The ones in black are short-term. They're only going to be used for a very short period. So if you look at release 19, release 19 is already passed. It expired in March 23, and there's no extended support available. So the 2 I want you to take a look at here, if you came to this webinar with which one can I get for free as your primary question, I want you to look at rows 17 and 21. We just found out yesterday, I believe it was, I might think of something else, but we just found out that 21 is free. That is an update. We weren't sure. It was up in the air, but yes, 21 will be a free version. It comes out September 2023. For now, 17 is your free version. So if you are looking for what is the Java version that is most up to date, that is free, the answer you are looking for is 17 in terms if you want a long-term support one. So it's important to know, what does that mean? Well, we talked about sustaining support. So I'm not going to go into it. This isn't really a support webinar, but mostly it's about what bug fixes will be fixed, what bug fixes will not be fixed. And you can see how they're kind of trying to, Oracle's going to not develop it, but they'll give you patches that they developed when it was in support. Speaking of support, one thing I want to mention, if Oracle support is a thing that you have difficulty with, you have challenges with, maybe either pricing, maybe you are getting a shelfware stuff that you dropped and ends up still in support. If you are just looking to save on your support costs and have somebody else do it, talk to us. We can take care of your entire Oracle support job. We will take it off your hands. We will try to save you some money. We often do. So again, if you are just don't even want to be bothered with Oracle support renewals ever again, give us a call. We will take care of them for you. So let's say you didn't want Oracle's Java and you came and you said, I want to know what my options are for a free version. So one thing to keep in mind is these free versions change their names quite often. So you may know them as a different name. I'm right here giving you their new names. The big changes are Azul has renamed its products from Platform to Platform Core and Platform Prime. And of course, just like when Oracle made its announcement, everybody else quickly announced they were going to build their own Java as a replacement. And you can see here are just some of the many versions that you can use. But I will warn you that one of the biggest factors we see is we work with organizations and their IT team has planned, they're going to move, the finance is on board, they're going to move everything over to an open source something. And at the very last second, their security teams come in and say, no, we're not comfortable with this as open source. You've got to go get the fully sustained Java. We want the real thing. Be prepared for that. Talk to your IT security teams. Ask them if this will be okay with them before you plan everything out on doing this. So that's just a word of advice, because we've seen some security teams are very open to it. Some security teams say, absolutely not. I'm not a security expert. I don't want to comment on why they might or might not. It's probably very individual to your situation. So talk to them before you go down one of these roads. All right, so let's get another poll here. What is your organization's plan for Java? Have you reviewed where you're using your Java, right? So that's the big question. And we talk to a lot of companies. Most of the companies we're talking to, guys, I'll tell you right now, they're working. Very, very few organizations have their head in the sand at this point. Most of them are simply trying to figure out the best option for them. And I can tell you right away, the good most of you are working on it, or you do have a plan. And you know what? That's great, because I've done this webinar about 5 times now. And every time I do it, I see more organizations saying they have a plan, and I'm really glad to see it. If you were in an organization that answered no, I suggest you get on that, because you may decide you want to move forward by licensing. You may change. You may make any number of decisions, but you really need to know where you have it, so that you can make changes in a way that catches it all, right? Because that's what you want. You don't want to forget about some handheld device or some old server or something that has it on it and you forgot it existed. All right, great. Thank you very much, guys. Let's keep going. All right, so one thing I want to keep in mind, if you're reading your, you're trying to figure out what are the exact rules, right? Make sure you're looking at the right license agreement. We have had one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest causes for failed audits is people read the wrong license agreement. A lot of times they'll read a current one and they don't realize that there was a different agreement when they purchased the product, and they're reading a newer one. They should be reading an older one. So there are there are 3 that you really gotta keep an eye out, say which one is mine. So if they're the old Javas, they're under the Oracle Binary Code License Agreement. If they are also under the Oracle Technology Network License Agreement. But the newer versions, as you can see, 1719 down here, are under the No Fee Terms and Conditions Agreement. So again, just make sure that you pick the right agreement. All right, so let's talk about Java sales inquiries, aka what comes before an audit. So it might be an audit if it could really be an audit. It could really just be your sales team. It could just really be your sales person at Oracle, who's the Java salesperson, who makes it sound like it, but really they're just asking questions. The best idea here is get some expert help, know which is which, know how you should react, have a software asset management like plan, make sure your employees know to keep things confidential and don't go announcing everything over the internet that doesn't need to be, or talking to people they don't need to be. So have a software asset management policy, and be ready for a sales call from Oracle's Java team. So if you've heard of license managed services, the old Oracle team that did audits, they are now called Global License Advisory Services, or GLAS. So keep that in mind. They're going to ask you how many employees you have. You can see they used to ask for workstations and processors, but now they're going to ask employees. And you may find that they don't even ask you. They just go look up your organization in some sort of data provider who tells them what their employees is, and they'll just say, we think you have this many employees. So you want to make sure, like I said earlier, go find out if your users can upgrade their own Java, because if they can, it's almost certain they're going to update themselves right out of compliance. Even people, seasoned IT people, you saw the data earlier, it's very complicated. So make sure you have made a decision and you've looked at that and you're comfortable with that. And finally, don't negotiate without help. One of the best things I could advise you here is, it doesn't have to be Miro. We'd like it to be Miro, but get some expert help. Get some contract negotiations, software license management help. Talk to someone who knows what they're doing. Talk to someone who's done these Java audits, who's helped organizations with their Java compliance, who's helped facilitate deals with Oracle. We've done it. We've done many of them. We can do it for you. Beware if you're talking to a consultant about Java and they don't sound like they've ever done this before, because a lot of them haven't, and they're hoping you'll be there first. And we don't want you to be their first attempt at negotiating Java. So let's talk about the hidden gotchas. So again, if you're doing something else and you're multitasking on me, please take a look at this slide. Here's the thing. If your plan was to go to Oracle and buy 1-year subscription, you are going to get full back usage fees to 2019. So in other words, you will be purchasing a 1-year forward and 4 years backwards subscription to be paid up at once. So if that's your plan, is to wait for Oracle to come knocking and then just buy the 1 year and take that time to get yourself off, you're going to be paying for 5. Same thing. If you do a 3-year subscription, you're going to be paying about half the back usage fees. And the only way to not have to pay the back usage fees is to do the full 5 years. So again, don't wait for them to come. You won't have any other options at that point. You won't be able to do anything. This is the pricing they're offering. This is the deal on term. So keep this in mind when you are planning your Java solution. Okay. All right. So my final poll question. Have you been audited? We've been launching this poll every one time we do this, and we're finding more and more people are getting audited every time we do it. The number keeps climbing. We have found certain organizations, like you might expect, the bigger your organization is, the more likely you are to be targeted. And finally, I want to mention that we're seeing two places where Oracle's a little bit more, looks like they're just starting, I would say. They're starting in certain industries, certain size, no surprise. But government, if you are part of a government or a quasi-governmental organization, I strongly suggest you start looking into Java now. Oracle seems to, we are talking to more governmental organizations than we typically would. So if you are a government organization, you really should find some expert help sooner than later. And also if you're a Canada company, we've been talking to a disproportionate number of companies in Canada. It seems that Oracle Canada might be a little bit faster off the starting block when it comes to their Java outreach. So keep that in mind. And yep, as I see here, more and more of you guys are getting those audit letters. And the smart ones of you, I see some of them said, not yet, but we expect one soon. And that is fantastic. All right. Not that you're going to get audited, just that you were able to answer my poll. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. All right, so here's the conclusions. Here's what I want you to take away before we get into QA. And guys, I got my whole team here. I got all my experts. They are ready to go. They are ready to answer any of your questions you might have. So please, by all means, put them in the question box and we will go through them. In fact, some of my team might have already answered some. I can't see the box from here. So what's the conclusion? What should you take away from this? Well, you've probably got Java installed and it's probably licensable. Almost certain. I think we have at this point, in organizations we've helped, many organizations, we have not found not one that is just completely free and clean and clear of Java. Now, some organizations think they do. We have tools that we use when we help organizations that look for Java. Oftentimes they say there's none here, and we find them because it's hidden all over the place, places you wouldn't expect to see. Sometimes organizations, they forget that it doesn't even have to be a computer to have Java. Some devices that they would have never thought have Java hidden in there somewhere. Make sure that you check out the alternatives, see if the alternatives are available. Check with your team. Like I said, make sure that your cybersecurity team in particular is okay with you switching Java to a different version of Java. And check the price. You may find that it is more expensive and more of a hassle to switch than just to buy a subscription. Every individual case is different. So make sure you know what versions you have when you find those Javas. If you get a proposal from Oracle, look at it carefully, make sure that you understand it. If you have any questions or concerns, you really should have a negotiation partner who can help you and help you understand what different parts of the contract mean, and then also what options you might have. And like I said, throughout the whole thing, it comes down to compliance, it comes down to costs, it comes down to compatibility. You got to take all these factors in if you were planning to make a major change. And with that, let me say, well, what do we do now? So what are you going to do from here? Well, you have a choice. You could do nothing. I do not recommend doing nothing. It's a matter of when, not if, Oracle will come asking for your Java license and why you don't have one. You should know where Java is and what's using it and how you're using it. You should know your settings. Can your users update themselves out of compliance? Can Java do it all on its own? Can you, do you know what your alternatives are? And finally, like I said, get an expert to help you. It doesn't have to be us. We'd love it if it was, but get an expert to help you, and get one that, like I said before, sounds like they've done this before, because a lot of them have not, and they're hoping you get to be the guinea pig when they have their first Java deal. All right, and with that, I just want to go over to the Q&A. We have, okay, so this is the point. If you got a question, let's put it through here. Here's one of them. We have a question coming in. Our organization is in the middle of a 3-year contract with Oracle for Java license renewals 2024. Are we at risk of being assessed back usage fees? Excuse me. No, you have nothing to be concerned about. I see one of my team already gave you the answer, but for everyone else, if you have an existing subscription with one of the old metrics, you do not need to renew under the new metrics. Oracle has said it will renew people under the old metrics, and that is the information we have. Another question that frequently comes up here when it comes to Java is, I cover this very briefly, but if I bought a product from Java, like an ERP product, or did I buy something else similar, then you would want to, you'll get Java with it. So certain things come with Java. If you got Java with a product, you already have the license for that product usage. You don't need a subscription in addition to already buying it from Oracle. And I will just give it another few seconds here. It seems that we answered everyone's questions. Oh, we got one more coming in. If we have an existing Java renewal under the yes. Yeah, okay, I just answered this. Will Oracle try to force us under the new license model upon the renewal window? Oracle, the organization, no. They will, from what they've told us, you will be able to renew under the older metrics that you initially purchased under. However, we have heard of some Oracle Java reps saying that they would not. We think those Oracle Java reps just have misinformation and they would prefer it if you bought more licensing from them. But if an Oracle sales rep tells you that, talk to us to confirm, because right now we've heard some reps saying that, but like I said, we think that those reps are actually just confused. All right, if you have a third-party product that uses Java, are you or the vendor responsible? And I'm pretty sure it's the vendor, but I'm going to wait and see what my experts say, because I don't want to give you guys wrong information. So I believe technically it would be the when the vendor sold you the product with Java, the vendor would have been required to have that product to put Java in the product. The vendor would have to have an agreement with Oracle, and they would pay Oracle as part of that agreement. Now, we believe there are, obviously there's Java comes in many, many things. But I will give it another 30 seconds here for someone on my team to answer. But as to any other questions we've had, if you got any other questions, please put them in now. All right, whoever answers this question, my team is apparently it's a long answer. So I'm going to get back to you after the event here and send you that answer as a follow-up. In the meantime, if you'd like to meet with us, if you'd like to talk to us, if you'd just like to ask a question, here's our contact information. You can reach us at info@miroconsulting.com. I have a great team of experts here who have done many, many Java installations, and they would love to help you. So give us a call, give us an email, visit us online, and we can discuss your situation. If you want a review, this is going to be online. I'm going to send you a link to the recording. I'm going to send you that guide I promised you. It's going to have all the information you need. But otherwise, thank you very much for attending. I greatly appreciate it. Have a great day.